Jams for Justice was an open mic night done by IGEM, which stands for International Gender Equality Movement, in collaboration with college feminists. Over 20 people performed at the event, including musicians, dancers, and poets. Between Venmo and cash donations, the event raised $165. 70% of the proceeds will be going to Girl Up, which is the organization IGEM mainly donates to.
Girl Up is basically a UN campaign through the UN World Foundation, and it kind of supports the health, safety, and education of girls in 4 countries. So it works mainly in Malawi, Liberia, Guatemala, and Ethiopia. And they have different programs within each of those countries, and 4 of those focus areas. So it kind of allocates current funds towards projects that are working to help girls. For instance, there was this whole push to get more girls documented, because a huge problem is that I think something like 1.5 million children every year are born undocumented without a birth certificate, and a large percentage of those are girls. And basically that means that if you don't have actual identification, you're not recognized by government, and so you can't do school, you can't get a job, you can't own property.
Justice needs some representation, so Jams for Justice is a good move. Yeah.
The event took place in Ditmar Gallery in Norris. The gallery is filled with art created by Dominic Sansoni based on the theme of violence. Though not every performance centered around feminism and oppression, a few performers expressed their individual sentiments about societal issues.
There are children in the faces of the guns because the guns are killing children, right? We don't live single-issue lives, which is something that I've been thinking a lot recently. So, if we want to be advancing the agenda of feminists, we have to think about feminism for who, right? And who benefits from our work, who benefits from, the work that we're putting in these spaces right now. And if it's not all people, if it's not women who don't look like us or women who don't live where we live, if it's not the women who are being terrorized by drones because they're brown and because they've been labeled terrorists, then what are we doing?
Honestly, even if we hadn't raised any money, I think it was great that we gave people a space to kind of express themselves. A lot of people came forward who would normally perform in front of a crowd and read their stories and read their poetry for the first time ever. And I thought that in its own was really powerful, but it was also really powerful knowing that so much of this money is going to go to girls in other countries that really need it.
I came to support my roommate, but I turned out to really enjoy it. It was a lot of very talented people and good topics that they kind of did their art based on.
I think it was also really great in the sense that a lot of people didn't even know what IGEM was, and so I feel it was a really great way for us to get our name out there and just kind of advance our issue, because while there are so many global oriented clubs at Northwestern, there's not one that's specifically dedicated to women and girls.